Live. Welcome to the process. It is Monday, November 15th. I definitely didn't know that until right now. I am Josh Engelman, and I'm back from a long weekend, a little bit of time away, a couple days, but we're here and we're ready to break down an 11-game Monday NBA slate. I'm happy to be back. I'm feeling refreshed. Not going to lie, a little tired. Slept in a bit Thursday through Sunday, so 5:15 came pretty quickly today, but I didn't go too crazy this weekend, so I feel pretty good. I'm ready to just start looking at basketball again. I don't really know anything that's happened over the past few days. Everything was at arm's length, so everything that I prepped Thursday and Friday morning for Contenders videos, that's about it. I didn't see results or anything like that. I don't really know all too much else, so this is going to be a bit of a learning experience show to get my sea legs back, but plenty of time. We've got this show today, Contenders, strategy show. I'm on Live Before Lock, so if I'm not well-versed in the NBA, NVA? I don't even know where I'm going with that one. If I'm not well-versed in the NBA by the end of today, we got some problems. So it's great to see everybody in chat. I've missed seeing everybody being here. It's good to see the coffee cups and the good morning. So good morning to everybody. 11 games, we're going to take a while, and I'm probably going to gut every rotation before we do it. So this is going to take some time. Buckle up for, I assume we're done around 8 o'clock today. That's the goal, at least. That's about it, though. I miss you guys, too. I miss this show. This is a really good time for me. It's honestly like the process show is like a drug for me. I can feel myself wanting to have it, and then I feel like I got away from it a little bit, and now I'm back on it again today. But I don't ever want to miss this show. I love it. It's too much fun. So I appreciate you all. I'm not going to lie to you. Today I took a sip of my coffee before we got started, which honestly was very necessary, but only a little one just to get the taste in the old mouth. But I still have my coffee here for you guys, so grab your coffee if you have one. If it's water or Gatorade, Pepsi, Coke, whatever you got going on today. If you got a ciggy, it's fine. I don't know how you cheers a cigarette, but we'll figure it out eventually. Cheers, everybody. Rise and grind. It's about that time. We're back at it. Let's do this stuff. Jeffrey, I appreciate that. I have been working at it. It has been a goal. I closed all 3 of my rings on my Apple Watch this week, even with vacation. It's the first time I've ever had a perfect week, so I'm feeling pretty good right now. Let's dive in. Let's switch this screen up a little bit. Let's go to Bang. Before we do anything, I'd like to give a shout out to Prize Picks for being the presenting sponsor of this show. If you use the promo code Awesemo when you sign up at Prize Picks, you guys can see the banner at the top of the screen. Use that promo code Awesemo, and you will get a 100% instant match deposit bonus of up to $100. That means if you put in 50, they'll match with 50. If you put in 100, they will match with 100. If you put in 200, you still only get 100. But who doesn't want 100? A little fuzz floating around. No, you guys can't see it. You probably just think I'm trying to catch random nonsense. Go check out Prize Picks. Use that promo code. Don't leave that money on the table. We have player prop tools on the website that will really help you out there. I can't guarantee anything, but I think this will be a very great spot to build a bit of a bankroll. Alrighty. Here we are. Let's get a little tunage playing in the background. Izzy, I did enjoy it. I did. We had incredible weather. It was basically 70 degrees and sunny at all times when the sun was out. We got to do a bunch of good long beach walks with the dogs. We saw 3 out of 4 days absolutely exceptional sunsets, which I know sounds ridiculous, but it was just beautiful. One day it was just blocked by a little bit of cloud, so you got a little bit of the color in the sky, but every other night it was basically crystal clear. Just a good time hanging out with friends. So it was nice to get that in and just be able to basically pay attention to nothing. You know, I did some contenders work on Thursday morning and Friday morning. Thursday morning was really easy. Friday morning a little bit less so, but couldn't get my microphone to work, so contenders video sounded like garbage. Felt bad about that. Either way, it was fun. I was happy to be away. Sean, I went to an island about 45 minutes from my house called Bald Head Island. It's awesome. Yeah, no cars on the island other than like a work truck or two for, people doing actual work on the island, but it's all golf carts and bikes. Just super relaxing. Super duper relaxing. I got a really nice massage Thursday, which feels like it was too far ago now. Like I wish I don't feel like I have the benefits any longer, but that was really nice. It was just a good week altogether. Alrighty, here we go. Time to learn what's been happening. We're going to start with the Boston Celtics taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Boston 2.5 point favorites, 200 total. And like I said, I think that my best bet now is, unless a rotation is just very clearly like there's not any problems and there's nobody out, I'm going to basically gut every rotation and start from scratch just to make sure we have in what we need. So let's start here. Oh, I didn't even open up my second window yet. There we go. And good. All right. So Boston. Yeah, I have no idea what's going on in the NBA right now. I'm from Wednesday afternoon through yesterday, I saw nothing. So, yikes. Lazy mofos, I agree completely. Oh, by the way, I don't think I said this yet. I might as well say it now, and it'll give us a little boost. Please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. The goal is 100 likes by 7 a.m. That is what we're looking to do today. 80 plus viewers, 35 likes. I know that number is going to jump now that I'm getting the reminder out there, but that would be very much appreciated. As we look at Boston here, we still have no Jaylen Brown, but everyone else for the Celtics should be in, so this should largely be business as usual. I've got Al Horford in for 29 minutes. I think I'm okay there. Time Lord in for 28. Has been playing a lot more over these past 4 days. So maybe we'll cut that down to 29 and 19. Plus a little bit more for Al Horford. Romeo Langford has been getting some time. Aaron Nesmith been getting a little bit less of it. But 18 for Langford seems fine. Peyton Pritchard is all over the map in terms of his rotations. Marcus Smart seems fine at 34. Jason Tatum seems fine at 35, but honestly, it should probably be 36. Schroeder playing big minutes as of late now with no Jaylen Brown. So I think Boston's rotation is pretty much set in stone. The guys that matter the most are getting the minutes. I guess Jay Rich would be the guy that we can shave a minute off of. Give that to Langford. But the rest of Boston looks fine. So let's bang out Cleveland quickly, which I assume is a bit more complicated than Boston. Cleveland's got no Sexton, as we know. No Markkanen, still reconditioning. No Kevin Love, no Lamar Stevens. So we do have a lot going on there. And when I finish Cleveland, I can hear the dog walking up the steps. I will let him into the bedroom with my wife. Now, most of Cleveland should be easy, but I do think it's probably in my best interest to just start it from scratch because it is a kind of a weird team. Rubio is getting a little bit of a bump in minutes. He went 28, 27, 32. Was this OT? No. Okay, so, I think 30 for Rubio seems pretty realistic. Jared Allen, very easily going in at the 34-minute mark. What else do we need here? So Denzel Valentine entered the rotation this past time. We'll see how much that matters. Dylan Windler's minutes are all sort of over the map. So we'll say Mobley plays those other 14. Plus another 22. Backup point guard run we give to Darius Garland. Plus another 16. That takes him to 34. Cleveland really does come together pretty easily. Isaac Okoro started at 28 minutes, down to 24, then to 18. So let me at least look at the popcorn machine. Oh, 91.89. This is a home and home. Okay, so Okoro, it's not a foul trouble thing. Is it just a he stinks thing? Seems about right. Yeah, Denzel Valentine just played. They made a comeback here for the bench stretch in the third, fourth quarter. Okoro started but didn't close, which is really weird. Oh, these minutes are not going to be fun to try to project. So let's say that Okoro is going to play 24 minutes. That seems about right. We need more minutes at the 4, which would be Dean Wade, I guess. So is he just playing 28, 30, and 22 since Colin Sexton's been out? 24 feels about right there as well. And then the rest of this is just going to sort of hash itself out. We're going to go for maybe 28 on Chetty. Maybe go 26 and 2 here for Chetty. Windler probably plays 16. Denzel Valentine probably plays 14, something like that. It's hard to really trust either one of these guys. Let's do something like that. That gives us a 9-man Cleveland rotation since we know those other guys are out. And now we can look at just what this game looks like. So Boston, first one up. If we're rostering anybody from Boston, Schroeder on FanDuel for 5,700 looks like a decent value on a day like today. Josh Richardson is 3,500 on DraftKings. If he's playing, that's just a value play that you have to kind of look at. It's good from a point per dollar standpoint. I don't know how high the ceiling really is, but at 3,500 with guard forward, it works. I don't know what value is going to look like for the rest of the slate, so that'll dictate a little bit more. Tatum's all right on FanDuel and DK. FanDuel a little bit better. Not a lot to like here, though, from Cleveland. or from Boston rather. On Cleveland, Mobley 7,500 and 7,200. I'm happy to go there on both sites. He's a fantasy point per minute guy so far. Jared Allen 7,500 on DraftKings, not bad. Darius Garland across both sites, not bad. Chetty for 3,900 on DraftKings, sort of in the same boat as Jay Rich, just guard forward, sub 4K. Little bit of value there. Butthole Jenkins, good morning. Good morning. Oh, that coffee's hitting the spot, guys. It really is. Missed it. All right, so one game in the books. Next game up, Sacramento at Detroit. We've got the Kings as 4.5-point favorites in Detroit. No surprises there. On the Sacramento side, no news. This is just standard issued rotation, so that's pretty easy to deal with. So we saw over the past 3 games since I've been gone, Chimezie Metu enter the rotation in an interesting way. Terrence Davis sort of leaving it, but they've been bouncing around for this third guy. But 3 straight days of Metu, one of which started with Halliburton out, which is fine. But now with Halliburton in, Metu still got the minutes. We saw Mo Harkless take the pretty big haircut, but he's starting, right? Did Harkless start this most recent game? Where is it? Where the hell is Sacramento hiding? That was Friday. Okay, so they've been gone as long as I have. So Mo Harkless. Okay, so they started Metu on Friday. That's fun. I'm just going to assume that they start Metu again then. So let's take these little Metu minutes out of there. Let's take Terrence Davis minutes out of there. Let's take Mo Harkless's minutes out. And then let's hash out the rest of this. So Rashawn Holmes in for 28 minutes. Check. I'm going to assume it's Alex Len today, but I don't think it matters all that much. And then we've got Harry Barnes in for 36. Which means we give Chimezie Metu those 17. And then if he's starting, we're going to say, all right, so he didn't close. That was Fox, Barnes, Holmes, Halliburton, and Hield. All right, that makes me feel a little bit better. We can keep Metu out of a closing lineup, leave him in for 22 minutes. I think that'll work best. That still has us left over with 16. You know, in theory, that can just be 16 to Mo Harkless. I can go 8 and 8 to Terrence Davis. That takes us to a 10-man rotation. Probably the easiest bet here. We've got Fox in for 35 minutes. We've got Halliburton in for 31, which is not right. That number needs to go up. Hield in for 30, I'm fine with. Davion Mitchell is the guy that can come down in minutes. You know, without the Tyrese Halliburton games, he was averaging like 26. So let's maybe just go to 25. That lets me take Halliburton up to 33, which is better. I think that probably covers me. I don't know if I want to go to 34 on Halliburton. I guess I probably should. 34 on Halliburton. So Sacramento's done. I'm unsurprisingly going to get a lot of De'Aaron Fox. That never happens. We'll see what we do for Detroit. Interesting matchup here for Detroit. I think I heard that the Pistons are kicking the tires on Bagley. That's fun, considering he's basically never going to play for Sacramento. What do we got going on for Detroit? No Olynyk. Yeah, I saw that I did actually see that Olynyk got hurt, so MCL sprain, going to be out for a minute. This should be closer to a rotation. Last 2 games, they've basically run a straight 9. So that'll help. I've got 10 in right now, and I gave Luke Garza 9. So I'm going to continue with that sort of mechanism, which means the rest of this should look pretty good. Cade in for 31. Honestly, that could probably be 32. Corey Joseph can go to 18. So that'll get us Cade for sure. Killian Hayes in for 28. That could actually be a little bit more too. Frank Jackson, 16. That'll work. Isaiah Stewart can play in the 30s if it's competitive. I think 28 is fine there. Trey Lyles, backup. Jeremy Grant, sort of backup. I don't really want to make any other changes here other than maybe giving giving Hayes one extra minute. So let's go 29 and 17. All right, that's a Friday. Scott Thompson, appreciate you there. I'm going to look at that rotation quickly. Friday was what date? The 12th? Guys, it's going to take a little bit to get my sea legs. Oh, God. Detroit is so bad. Okay, so Isaiah Stewart picked up 2 fouls in the first minute and a half. Didn't pick one up there. Picked up one, so that's only 3. So he did get back in for an actual rotation, so that's fine. He just played a little bit more than he would have. I think it's reasonable to think that he could see the floor. Probably doesn't in a competitive game, but I think it's reasonable to suspect that he could. I do want to give... Let's do this. So that'll be 19 and 15. One more minute to Jeremy Grant. I think 35 makes sense. Jeffrey, I don't understand. Is Bay getting Maxi's minutes this year? That I don't understand. It's 34 minutes for Sadiq Bey. Too many. Probably. So let's do that. And I think we're good for the Pistons and Kings. So on Sacramento, again, 4-point favorites in Detroit. De'Aaron Fox for 7,600 on FanDuel. I will continue to go straight back to him. I got him at 1.09 for this matchup. He's been at 1.01 for the year. I mean, I don't think that giving him a little bit of a boost to face the Pistons is the craziest thing in the world. I think he's okay at 8,200 on DK, too. Halliburton for 6K on DraftKings is probably the second best option of anything here. And then, Barnes is fine. Holmes is fine. Hield is fine. But really, it's Fox and Halliburton. There's not a lot there. On the Pistons side, Isaiah Stewart, 5,100 on FanDuel, 5K on DraftKings. I probably have him mildly overprojected. But I don't really have anything that I want to change. Jeremy Grant is always okay. 7,200 on DK for Grant stands out. Bay and Cunningham are both guys that you'll get a lot of. Honestly, Cade for 5,500 on DraftKings, I think you got to play a bunch of. He's just going to get better. He really is. And the usage rate is massive. Let's just double check that it's still massive. Jeffrey, Sadiq Bey just played like 36 minutes a game the whole year. Sadiq Bey's just been playing nonstop starter 35 minutes since at the least the midway point of last year, but I think through pretty much most of it and all of this year. He's just like their second best player. Cade. Where are you hiding? All right, so Cade, 26.5% usage rate. I can't change that. I got him in at 26. He's like, the shots are gonna fall eventually, allegedly. But that's 2 games down. We're almost up to that 7 o'clock mark. 140 viewers. That number has climbed. 52 likes. If you have not hit that thumbs up yet, guys, what are you waiting for? Hit it. Run those numbers up. These thumbs up only go to me. This is me. This is my gig. Makes me feel better when I see them. I'm not gonna lie. Crispy, what's going on? We're on to Pelicans Wizards. This can't be good. We'll start on the New Orleans side. What do we need to know? No Zion, obviously. And then everybody else is available. So at least New Orleans is getting easier to project. They're probably useless, but we got BI back on Saturday, played 30 minutes. I assume that if it's a competitive game, he's just sort of playing his normal run. So we saw Najee Marshall is just not a part of the rotation any longer. Actually, it's probably just going to be easier to gut most of this. We'll get that out of there and that out of there and this out of there. There we go. 32 minutes for Devontae Graham. Check. 32 minutes for Joe Val. Check. 33 for Brandon Ingram. It's going to be 34 eventually. Probably should just make it 34 now. Guessing I need to bump down Joe Val's usage rate eventually. So we'll do that. And now we'll keep projecting. Why are internet people always asking to like the channel? Because it helps with us being more profitable. More likes equal more views, equal more revenue, more everything. Timothy, I appreciate that. I don't care at all about a 2-game usage sample size. All right. Backup point guard run is not Kira Lewis anymore, evidently. Guess we're just going to call that Nickeil Alexander-Walker, but I don't think it matters which one gets it. 26 minutes the past 2 times. Let's dial him down to 28. And then backup center run is just continuing to be Jackson Hayes. Are they running anybody else? No. So we'll give Hayes the backup run. Backup run at the 4 would be Trey Murphy. Which takes us to the 3. Josh Hart is just getting that time. So we're going to go 30 minutes to Josh Hart. 18 minutes here to Herb Jones. Plus another 8 to take him to 26. That takes Temple to... Ooh, okay, Temple went 17 the last time out. Maybe 20 for Temple. And a Satoransky rotation? That's not going to work. Who's got too many minutes here? Trey Murphy a little bit, maybe. Maybe we go 12 there. Because 30 feels right for Josh Hart. Maybe 2 more for Sato here. This one's going to take some digging. I think they just have a lot of guys that they can play in competitive portions of games. Like, you could see Temple get it. You could see Herb Jones get it. You could see Nickeil Alexander-Walker get it. You could see Josh Hart likely get it. So I think that all sort of fits right now. And there's really the easiest part to say here is that New Orleans just doesn't look very good. I don't think we're going to be liking the Pelicans. Are we going to like the Wizards? That's a different question. 6:58, by the way. We are 30 likes short of the 100 mark at 7 a.m. I know I've been gone a little bit, guys, but it would feel pretty nice to get to 100 by the time we hit 7 a.m. We've got no Bradley Beal, no Rui, no Bryant, no Bertans. So we're going to have to just scratch this one and start over, which is fine. We didn't have Bradley Beal on Saturday either. Big minutes jump from Aaron Holiday, so I'm just going to assume Aaron Holiday started. Which he did. Also closed. So, easy enough right there. Brian, good morning. So, Spencer Dinwiddie played 31 minutes. That seems to be like his literal ceiling. We're going to say that Howell Neto is the straight backup. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. We've got Trez playing 21. We had Gafford playing 27. So these guys are continuing to just split this. Ooh, I forgot to let my dog in. Whoops. Give me a second. Ooh, got it. Traditions, guys, traditions. Puppy dog's just sitting out there acting all bummed. I think like a 24-24 split on Trez and Gafford is the play. I'll get him in. So tomorrow, I'll make sure that I drag him in here tomorrow when we got a 3-gamer. Can't be dragging the dog in here on the 11-gamer. 701, 85 likes. We're going to get there eventually, so it'll be fine. I can't be too mad on my first day back. All right, 24-24 split. Next up at the 4. It's going to be basically Kuzma playing 34 minutes, right? And then I don't know if Anthony Gill is just going to be in a rotation. When did he see the floor? I got in early, so he did see an actual rotation run. Aaron Holiday, just going to assume he starts again. Just going to assume that he plays starter minutes. Maybe 32, 33? We'll go 32 because they don't have to be like married to that idea. I think 2 more minutes to Neto makes some sense. And then KCP can soak up the rest of those. Actually, probably Kispert soaks up the rest of those. And then KCP gets his standard issue, 30 minutes. I got to get... So we still need Denny and maybe Anthony Gill. So Denny gets these 18 and maybe 2 more. Gets them to 20. We give Anthony Gill 12. Seems about right. Don't really have much in the way of like rates that I think need to be changed right now. So Washington and New Orleans are done. Yeah, so we were right. New Orleans, I knew New Orleans didn't look all that great on FanDuel because I have that as like my indicator column since I play on FanDuel more. They look even worse on DraftKings. I don't think we're playing anything from the Pelicans today. On the Washington side, lots to like here. So Aaron Holiday has not been changed in price on DraftKings. He's 3,500. I think he's probably going to be, as long as he's starting, he's going to be the best value play once again. I do need to bring down that usage rate though. That's not going to be the case. Pull Beal. Everything. That's bumping everybody. All right. What I do need to make at least one change here to Washington to see who gets the biggest usage bump with no Bradley Beal. It's not Aaron Holiday. All right. So Dinwiddie in 154 minutes without Beal is up to a 29% usage rate. I'm going to take that up a little bit further, which is sort of what I expected. Trez gets the bump, which is what I expected. Kuzma goes to 25. I'm going to go to like 23, and I think that'll really make the rest of this look pretty reasonable. I think somebody else needs to take a pretty big bump here. Is it Neto? Yeah, it is. We'll take him up to 20. That won't matter at all. Honestly, I might need to even go a little bit higher on Kuzma, but 93 minutes just isn't a big enough sample. I'm getting a lot of Gafford at 24 minutes, and that's kind of scary. But he's not even a good fantasy point per minute guy so far this season. 18% use. I just can't give Gafford that big of a usage bump. I can't give it to him at all, if we're being honest. KCP can take that bump. Trez can get that bump. That all makes sense now. All right, so for Washington, Aaron Holiday is just going to be a popular value play today. No way around it. 3,500 on DraftKings, point guard, shooting guard eligibility. 4,400 on FanDuel is just not as good of a price. I think Gafford works as a low-tier center option, but on an 11-gamer, it's possible you're just going to need more raw points. Kuzma, I think, looks pretty good on both sites. Just increased usage, increased role for Washington with no Beal. And then Dinwiddie, 6,500 on FanDuel. He is certainly going to be someone that I'm probably overexposed to in relationship to the field. 7,200 on DraftKings works. All right, 3 games down. Up to 92 likes. Love it. I'm glad I turned that fan on. It was needed that airflow. Orlando Magic at the Atlanta Hawks. The Magics are Magics. Yeah, Magics. That's a plural word. Orlando Magic, 10-point dogs, 213 total. What do we know for Orlando? Q tag on Jalen Suggs. Everybody else that's been out is out. Did Suggs miss any time? No. So everybody's just going in. Suggs has not been playing bigger minutes, so I can safely take 2 more away from him there and give those to RJ Hampton. Cole Anthony continues to play big-ish minutes. I think 34 is probably a bit too high now. So we'll go to 33. Franz Wagner plays north of 30. That looks fine. Wendell Carter is yo-yoing minutes. Mo Bambas are definitely a little bit lower now. He's been averaging 28, 29. So let's take him down to 29. We've got Wendell Carter Jr. in at 30. That's fine to me. So let's do that split. We've got Gary Harris in. He's playing a lot less than I thought he would. Let's take him down to 20. Somebody else step into this rotation? Chuma is still playing about 20 minutes. Terrence Ross saw a bump. I got him at 25. Yeah, if Suggs is out, you got to assume Terrence Ross becomes a slightly better play. I think they probably just go to like Okiki and Harris though too, so it's probably not going to change anything too dramatically. Right, who can I give these extra 6 minutes to? Right, 20 minutes for Chuma Okiki, check. Cole Anthony, check. Franz Wagner is probably a guy that should have 32. I just don't want to get too much Franz Wagner because I get too much Franz Wagner so as it is. I can't give him that minute. I guess I can give 2 more to Gary Harris. Or I'm going to keep Gary Harris at 24 because it doesn't matter if I give him those minutes. I just won't get there. And then 2 spillovers. It's going to be tough to recommend Orlando today, but unfortunately, Wendell Carter Jr., Cole Anthony, Franz Wagner, and Mo Bamba all look fine on FanDuel. Atlanta, on the other hand, is going to be a little bit different. Now, I know DeAndre Hunter is out with a torn ligament in his wrist. He's going to be out for like 6 weeks, which really sucks for Atlanta and for Hunter. I mean, this guy's just snake bit as of late. So let's try to hash out here what Atlanta is going to be doing now with no DeAndre Hunter. We saw Kevin Huerter go bonkers on Tuesday, which God should have paid me off. 60% Kevin Huerter when he became the value player, and I lost money. Ugh. Bad Tuesday. So now that we have no Hunter, it looks like Huerter is just going to be established at 30 now. So, one, that's good for him. I was a little surprised to see how little he had been playing. So we've got Clint Capella in for 30. Actually, I'm going to take out everything in the middle here. Because Trae Young's minutes are going to be the same. And whether it's DeLon Wright or Lou Will, I don't think it matters. So 30 for Capella. He's done it the last 3 games. I'm going to leave it at 30, I guess. I think that makes the most sense. And then they aren't really using Gorgeous Dong any longer, which I also don't think they should. So we're going to give 18 minutes to John Collins plus another 13. That takes him to 31. I actually probably need to go to 31 here. I think they both need to be in for 31, Collins and Capella, at least as of late. Gallo did finally get that minutes bump. I played a little bit too much Gallo when he got 7 minutes, which was irritating to say the least. I think he's just going to constantly be like a 22-minute guy. And then we're going to say Cam Reddish gets at least 18, no more than 30. I mean, he's not easy to project. Let's do 24 on Reddish. Bogdanovich is going to play 30. Kevin Huerter is going to play 30. DeLon Wright gets a rotation, and then who am I missing? I'm missing like a full piece of the rotation. I don't see it naturally. It's basically just this. It's this spillover. What happens if those 13 minutes don't exist? That's exactly what I basically have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, they went 9-man rotation. Kevin Huerter played slightly more. Everybody else's minutes seem pretty much fine. So I'm going to give Huerter another minute. I don't want him to climb too far, but I have to. In theory, I can give Clint Capella more minutes, but I think his price tag on FanDuel might be broken based on that number right there. That 3.7%. That's his boom per 1,000. 3.7 is massive, which means I think Clint Capella's FanDuel price might be broke. If I give him more minutes, I'm scared. So I'm just going to let them sit on Gorgie Dieng for right now because I don't think it really matters. I could just as easily give them like Solomon Hill, and I think it'd be fine. I don't think it's going to affect anybody else, and I don't want to move anybody else into a playable category. But if we look here, let's start on the Orlando side. 156 viewers, 97 likes. Can we just get that up over 100 now? We're 12 minutes past the mark. Wendell Carter, 6,200 on FanDuel, and Cole Anthony, 7,400 on DraftKings are probably the best two prices of anything we've got here. I wonder if... Can I do this? If I do this and this... That didn't work like I wanted it to. So that's value here. Boom percentage? No. We'll figure that out at some point. Not too much for Orlando. This one's going to be important, though. Atlanta. Yeah, Clint Capella, 6,400 on FanDuel. Very, very, very interested in Clint Capella today. Like, big time interested in Clint Capella today on FanDuel. Even on DraftKings at 7K, I think it's okay. And I think there's upside in that 31% mark, too. Trey, Collins, Huerter particularly on DraftKings. It's just another guy, sub 4K, shooting guard, small forward. We talked about a couple of them already. Huerter just adds himself to that list. So, like, if one of those guys starts getting a lot of ownership, you've got a lot of really easy shooting guard, small forward value pivots today. Trey, as per usual, a much better play on DraftKings than he is on FanDuel. Value in Reddish or Gallo if you think they can fall into extra minutes on DraftKings, not as much on FanDuel. But Clint Capella is going to be a very interesting piece for me on FanDuel today. On to game number 5. Of course, the Indiana Pacers taking on the New York Knicks. Of course the Pacers play today. This is game number 82 of their season. It's November 15th. Nothing crazy there. I have no idea what's going on with this team. I don't believe at all that they only played twice since I've been gone. We've got a Q tag on Chris Duarte. Nothing else matters. Duarte did not miss any time, so I think this is business as usual. But we do have to make some mild tweaks because I don't necessarily know if Karis LeVert's just going to go to straight 30, although it seems like he probably would. This last Indiana game was Saturday. Why did LeVert play a little bit lighter? Any foul trouble? No. So they took him off to close that, and then he played with the second unit, but didn't close. They closed Brogdon, Sabonis, Turner, McConnell, Holiday. Okay. Alrighty. There's that. Most of this should already be okay. At least, I think. Torrey Craig's minutes have come down. Basically, for Keelan Martin. So we can do something like that. Actually, we can do something like that for right now. And by that, I mean 12 minutes to Keelan Martin. I have LeVert in for 31. There's no way I'm projecting him for 31 minutes here. That just feels too aggressive. So we can do something more like that. Because Sabonis in for 36 in a competitive game, well, maybe not. But I do want to be able to get to him. I think the Turner minutes are fine. I think the Brogdon minutes are fine. I think Sabonis minutes are fine. And I think Karis LeVert's price on FanDuel is going to be fine. But terrible matchup against the Knicks. Speaking of, let's look at the Knicks. Find out what we need to know. I'm starting to wake up, guys. I don't know if you can tell. I don't know if you, like, my energy level is changing, but I'm getting a little bit more wide-eyed, which is helpful. Been awake for 2 hours now. It doesn't feel like it, but our time moves pretty quickly. Oh, God. What's wrong with my contact? I don't know. Nerlens Noel, Q-tag. That's all we need to know. That is not all that interesting a news. He's missed the last two. He'd only been back for 4. If Nerlens Noel is in, he plays those minutes. If Nerlens Noel is out, Taj plays those minutes. There's not much else to know. I'm going to go 25-23 here just in case. I don't think we're making any changes whatsoever to these Knicks minutes. We know what's going to happen when these games are competitive. Randall's going to get them. Kemba, 26 minutes. Him and Rose are just splitting this time no matter what. 24-24 or, 48, 48, 48. I guess I'm okay with most of this. Nobody else is really like jumping. I mean, Quickly's gotten a bump in minutes these past two, as has Burks, but I don't think the plan is to play Evan Fournier for 19 minutes a game, so I don't really want to change anything. Let's look at Indiana. For the Pacers. Yeah, there is just not a lot here. You can always go to your Sabonis, Brogdon, Turner trio, but I think they're all priced appropriately. Like, Turner for 6,700 on DraftKings looks fine, but he's a better play on FanDuel just from a scoring system perspective, but the price tag works better. Sabonis is okay. There's just not... It's such a slow matchup. We've got the Knicks as the 25th team in pace. Indy is a middle-of-the-pack team in pace. There's just not a lot there. The pricing's not all that great. Now, for the Knicks, we can get to RJ Barrett for 5,600 on FanDuel. We can get to Barrett for 59 on DraftKings, guard forward. Randall's got power forward center on DraftKings. I think that's okay. Mitchell Robinson's 4K. I mean, that dude's going to fall into a game where he blocks like 8 shots. It's going to happen. He's going to... Mitchell Robinson used to be a fantasy point per minute guy. I got him in for 24 minutes. If it's just a good Mitchell Robinson day and he plays 28 minutes at an average rate, he's almost at his ceiling value, which is basically like 8x. That's not even to say anything of him having just like a good game. So at 4K, one of these days he's going to just fall into more minutes and block a couple shots because defensively that's what he's there for. He just hasn't had it so far this season. That's going to be one to pay attention to. let's move on. We're at the halfway point now. Denver and Dallas. We've got the Denver Nuggets, 4-point underdogs in Dallas, 209 total. What do we need to know for the Denver Nuggies and for the Dallas Mavericks? So on Denver, we got a Q tag on Will Barton, didn't play the last game. Still no Michael Porter, obviously. No Jamal Murray, obviously. What do we need to know about Will Barton? Because that's one I just don't have a clue on. I think we just have to assume Will Barton plays until he doesn't, which means that this Denver rotation, for all intents and purposes, doesn't need to change. Other than maybe getting Zeke. Well, no, if Barton didn't play, that makes sense. So that would go away. I don't think I have changes here. This seems about right. I'm fine with Monty Morris being in for 29 minutes. Campazzo leaving the rotation mildly is probably something I need to pay attention to, because those minutes can get redistributed for sure. Let's go to 12 and 30. I likely need to make some changes to Aaron Gordon, but maybe not. Am I really not going to get to Jokic here? Have his rates changed? Jokic's usage rate is 31, 10, 17. All right, I guess I'll bump his rebounding rate a bit. I don't have anything to change for Dallas or for Denver. This seems, as long as Will Barton is in, it's our normal rotation. If Will Barton is out, then obviously we're going to bump up the minutes for Bones Highland. We're going to bump up the minutes for Campazzo, and Zeke Naji steps into the rotation. But for right now, I just have to assume the Barton plays. That'll take us over to Dallas. And on the Mavs, it's just Maxey out. So business as usual for Dallas. This might be the easiest game for us to project, potentially. 24 minutes for Dwight Powell. Probably a little high. We can go to 22. Porzingis is playing bigger minutes, so we'll get him in at 32. Dorian Finney-Smith in for 32. Fine. Luka in for 35. That's fine. Jalen Brunson in for 30. Fine. Hardaway 32. Fine. That's about it. We don't have to worry too much about, if Frank Ntilikina has too many minutes or not, but that's Dallas. So this game's in the books. Denver-Dallas. Easiest game on the slate if Will Barton plays. 100 likes too, by the way. You guys are the best. So Denver not looking all that appealing. Jokic is 11.5 on FanDuel, 11.7 on DraftKings. He's incredible. 1.72 FanDuel points per minute so far this season. However, can't go all the way to that mark, but 1.6 works. That's just a monstrous price. There seems like there's going to be enough value around to get there. Jeff Green looks okay on DraftKings at 3,800 on both. Aaron Gordon, Monty Morris, if they're falling into the minutes, it's all right. I don't have much else to worry about, though. On Dallas, on Dallas, we've got Luka 10-6 on FanDuel. I like it. 11-3 on DK, but the guard forward eligibility, I like it. Porzingis is 7,400 on FanDuel, 7K on DraftKings. I think that's a really nice DraftKings price for Zinger. 1.19 fantasy points per minute. So his demise is sort of exaggerated, at least from a fantasy perspective. After that, I don't think you're rostering anybody from Dallas. It's just Luka and Porzingis. Oh, God, this next game is probably awful. Houston at Memphis. The Rockets are 11-point underdogs, 220 total. The total, I think, is very interesting. The Houston Rockets, on the other hand, are at least fully healthy, so that helps. Memphis, also fully healthy. This might actually be easy, and might also be very appealing. Kevin Porter Jr. in for 33 minutes. I think that's the goal if this game can be competitive. Daniel Tice is playing about 21. I think that I could probably bump that a little bit, but I don't have to go too crazy. Şengün in for 18 is fine. Kenyon Martin in for 18 is too high. So we'll bump up Tice a bit, make him become like a guy that can be in a lineup. Jae'Sean Tate 21, or I have 31 in. That's not going to work for me right now. So who's been getting the Tate minutes? Daniel House is now in the rotation. David Nwaba basically isn't. So we're going to take Eric Gordon back down to 28 and then give House 15. But I'm also going to take a couple more minutes away from Jae'Sean Tate and get him to maybe 27. That takes House to 19. So Christian Wood being in for 34, I'm okay with. Kevin Porter being in for 33. Let's just make it 32 so nothing crazy happens. But Wood and Porter on FanDuel are going to look pretty good in this spot. For Memphis, what are the minutes looking like on Brooks? I assume he's just into it now. Yep, up to 31. Conchar left the rotation. They went back to Brandon Clark. That's something. Tillman's just out of it again. That's smart. Not true. So let's take... We need to work through this rotation for Memphis again. I'm going to clear everything out since Memphis is a pretty complicated team. It's not complicated at the point guard spot where we immediately just slot Ja Morant in for 35 minutes and call it a day. Tyus Jones gets the backup run. And likely that's about it. I don't see them playing. They haven't played alongside each other over the past few games now that Memphis is healthy again. So that's first step in. Steven Adams, center minutes. 26 is like sort of feeling right. Kind of gross, but I don't know what else to do. And we're going to say backup center minutes. We're just going to go straight Jaren Jackson just from a organization standpoint. Goal is going to be for him to play 30 minutes. We'll see how easy that happens. That then allows me to go to Brandon Clark for 14. We'll work our way back over to the 2. Actually, we'll drop in Dylan Brooks's 32 minutes at the 3. We'll lock in Slow-Mo's minutes, 24. Zaire Williams gets his 16. And are the final two guys Anthony and Bane? Can they split 50, 25 apiece? Melton's back down to 18, so they're being dumb with that again. I'm going to go 20. And then Bane is still playing, well, or did play 30. So do we go to just 30? No. If I go to 30, Desmond Bane's in everything. 26. Wow, those 2 minutes are massive. Crazy, crazy massive. I'm going to get a lot of Desmond Bane if he's playing 28 minutes. What's his price on FanDuel? Because it feels like it might be broken. I am going to cut his usage rate, though, if Dylan Brooks is back. So let's do something like that. Let's look at Houston now. And as always, guys, if you guys have any questions as I'm doing this, please feel free to hit me. 7,600 for Christian Wood on FanDuel. What a great price. Like, he's been at 1.1 fantasy points per minute for this season, but that is a really nice price on Christian Wood. Kevin Porter, too, for 6K on FanDuel. I like them both. I don't think I like anything else for Houston. I thought Houston was going to pop a little bit more, but it's just Wood and Porter. On the Memphis side, though, Ja is 10K on FanDuel. 10K on DraftKings, and I think that's a reasonable price tag. Desmond Bane is 4,300 on FanDuel. I actually don't mind that. It's not as good as I thought. If I gave him that 30 minutes, it might be crazier. Steven Adams' price has come up. 5,800 on FanDuel, 5,100 on DraftKings, but I still think he looks pretty good. I likely have him massively over-projected. Let's dial it back a little bit. Watch is charged. I'm going to put that back on. I thought there was going to be a little bit more here for Memphis, but it is Ja looking super reasonable. If we're to believe that Ja Morant's usage rate is still going to stay up in the 30s, and maybe it dials itself back a little bit with Dillon Brooks back, but he's been at 33% so far this season. I don't have a reason to think that it goes like too far down. If I delete Adams, Melton, and Bane, what happens? Melton, 18. So Bane's just had a bigger usage rate this year. That's something. Let's just keep him locked into his normal rate. I think everything else is fine. Weird game. I don't know what I'm going to be doing with that. That Houston-Memphis game is going to take some digging. I can see my thoughts on that game changing by the time I get to live before lock. 200 people in here. Alrighty. Now we're starting it back again. Carrie Thomas. Any guaranteed locks so far? So that would be a cash game question to start. Not that I pictured, but that can be something. We'll know that a little bit more when we run the crunches at the end. Let's go to Phoenix and Minnesota. Phoenix, the future home of Karl Anthony Towns. Just kidding, everybody. But maybe. Let's look at the Suns and the Wolves. For Phoenix, Q-tag on DeAndre Ayton. I don't know if he's been back or not, so I'm about to learn that. For Minnesota, no injury news. All right, so at least this should be simple on paper. Should we be projecting DeAndre Ayton in? Has not been in for a hot minute. What do we know about his blurb? Fifth straight game. Was ruled out Sunday. All right, so he played last night with a back-to-back for Phoenix. I'm just going to assume that he's not playing until he's playing. The JaVale Frank Kaminsky split continues. Some days it's JaVale, some days it's not. 25-20. If I go 25-23, I'm going to get all of the JaVale. If I go 27-21, they'll be pretty balanced. Theodore Parsons. Why would the Suns need Towns when they got Ayton? You answered your own question in that answer. Aaron Holiday on DraftKings is probably pretty close on as a cash lock, just given his price and his minutes. Probably not changing anything else for Phoenix. I mean, we know what they're doing here. I don't think 33 minutes for Chris Paul is all that crazy. Like, I need to be able to get these guys. 34 for Mikal Bridges. I mean, maybe that's 1 minute too many. And we do something like that. Because Shamit's playing a little bit more. I guess, how can I get him those minutes? Nader's minutes are fine. Cam Payne's minutes are fine. I guess Crowder's playing like a little bit less. That just seems about reasonable here. I expect these guys to be playing bigger minutes when they're in competitive games. So that's Phoenix. No changes there. Obviously, if Ayton is in, that changes up the game a little bit. On the Minnesota side, again, fully healthy, so no telling for me what their rotation is. I don't have a good feel for Minnesota, so I want to rebuild them from scratch. So let's look at NBA rotations, because they jerk their rotation around a lot. Where's the game log? So, like, all right, Beasley's just got that full bench run going on. Beverly has started since he's been back, so maybe they aren't jerking it around as much as I thought they were. I thought Josh Okogie, like, snuck into it recently. He did. I don't know who was out, though. McDaniels hasn't started the last 2 games, but did close. So let's start with Patrick Beverly playing what? 24 minutes the past 2 games, but in starting matchups, which I need to look at the score. So they got their asses kicked by the Clippers, which is fine. Beverly didn't close, but, no one relevant other than Towns did. Nope, that's McDaniels playing, actually. So don't have to care there. What'd they do against the Lakers? All right, they smacked the Lakers. Nobody closed. So can't look into it there. So the next Minnesota game before that is Golden State, which is probably a blowout. All right, some starters did close. Beverly was one of them. So I think the goal is for Patrick Beverly to play 30 minutes if the game is competitive, and no reason to suspect this game would not be competitive. So let's do something like 28 minutes for Beverly, and then Russell gets those 20 plus another 12, so he's up to 32. Cat clearly just goes in for 34. Naz Reid straight back up. Those guys just chop their minutes. Yeah, Theodore, I'm not saying that Ayton is bad, but they did not extend him. Karl Anthony Towns, I'm expecting to want out of Minnesota sooner rather than later because that team is just going to be bad. And what better way than to just swap those guys? Phoenix gives up a little bit less, but gets a better player. Wouldn't surprise me. Towns and Booker are boys, so it fits from that perspective. Ayton a little bit closer to the timeline of someone like Anthony Edwards and whoever they draft this year for being crappy. All right, Jaden McDaniels played 32 minutes. I don't think that's a goal. I think like 24 minutes for him is going to be fine. Jared Vanderbilt as sort of a backup version of that for 14 is fine. We're going to give Malik Beasley some standard issue second rotation stuff. 12 more goes to Anthony Edwards plus another 22. That takes him to 34. Okogie playing 14. That leaves me 22 minutes for someone I haven't projected yet. Jared Vanderbilt, I guess? No. Who am I missing? Oh, I guess. Is this their rotation? Is it just this? Is it 9? Can it be just 9? They haven't played a damn competitive game in ages. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so McLaughlin was in that rotation, but then wasn't. So I think Prince is actually in it. That leaves us 12 minutes to undetermined gentlemen. It's not Towns. It's not Bev. It's not Beasley. I don't trust this team. I guess Jared Vanderbilt could have 4 more minutes there, and Okogie can get to 16. But there's not a lot of meat on the bone. Take him to 26. And I'm going spillover. Minnesota was tough to project. That was harder than I was expecting. Let's look at Phoenix, though, because we got to hash out this center question. If Ayton doesn't play, Frank Kaminsky is 5,700 on FanDuel, 5,600 on DraftKings. That's mostly unappealing. JaVale is 4,400 and 4,200. It's basically the same play. I don't have much to say. I flip a coin on Kaminsky and JaVale. Hopefully Ayton just plays and removes that because it's not something I want to deal with. Mikal Bridges, 5,100 and 5K is mildly interesting. You can always play Booker and Paul. Phoenix is just appropriately priced. On the Minnesota side, $9,800 Towns on FanDuel, 10-2 on DraftKings. He's getting more and more appealing because that price is just, it's separating so much from someone like Jokic, who's like 11 whatever. They have comparable ceilings. D'Angelo Russell, 7,200 and 7,100. That's probably my favorite piece of this Minnesota game. I might have him a little over projected, but I like him today. And then Anthony Edwards, I mean, he's going to be inefficient as all hell, but guard forward 7,900. That Towns, Edwards, Russell trio, at least from a DFS perspective today, I think is appealing. Patrick Beverley is cheap on DraftKings, works as a value play. Jaden McDaniels, cheap as a guy on DK, is a really like large field flyer. There's something there though. Minnesota looking better than I was ever expecting. 3 games to go, folks. Let's go ahead and hit that save button so that I don't lose everything that I've done so far. And let's move it on to the Miami Heat taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder. Miami 9.5-point favorites in OKC. I assume we don't have Jimmy Butler. All right, Q tag on Butler, but why in the world would you bring him back against Oklahoma City when you don't have to? Markieff Morris still out. Bam is probable. Look, I know Jimmy's the dog and all, but I don't know. Butler's missed the last 2. Why bring him back in this spot? What's their schedule look like? Miami Heat. So they play the Thunder today. Then they're off tomorrow and get the Pelicans. There's no incentive. There's no incentive for Jimmy Butler to play, so I'm leaving him out for right now. Hey, William, his last name is Vliet with a V. It's not FVF. It's FVV. Yeah, there's no reason to project Jimmy Butler in until we have to. I mean, maybe I should. It's so annoying. Anybody other than Jimmy Butler and I'd let it go, but because he's crazy. It's crazy. But why play him? Why bring him back on a road game in Oklahoma City? I'm leaving this rotation be, and we're going no Butler until he's in. Bam at 34 minutes. Yeah, all of this seems fine, right? I mean, I guess they dialed back the Caleb Martin minutes a little bit. But, you know, Hero in for 35, that's fine. Kyle Lowry in for 35, that's fine. Bam at 34 looks great. For some reason, I gave Marcus Garrett 9 minutes. I don't even know who that is. Gabe Vincent got time. That's fine. We can bump up Duncan Robinson 2 more minutes. Easy. Yeah, I mean, those are his initials, so that makes the most sense to me. Max Strus is back. He can get 2 more. 30 on Tuckwagon. That's he can get more and it won't matter. I think we're probably all right here. Spill over a little bit more on Gabe Vincent. He won't matter. Juice won't matter. Go back one back to Max Garnett again. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So they went 9 deep. I have 9 in. So who did I not give minutes to? Oh, that number just doesn't count. That makes sense. Got to be greater than 2. Got it. Ugh. Is there anything worse than projecting the Oklahoma City Thunder? Derek Favors doubtful for rest. Everybody else available. Has Favors played any other back-to-backs? So last back-to-back was Tuesday, Wednesday. And Favors didn't play the front end. So, all right, let's just assume that Favors doesn't play today? Maybe? I don't know. Should it matter? Probably not. I don't think any part of this is going to matter. Aaron Wiggins finally got into a game. Certainly not projecting him in for today. I don't know what to do here. I'm leaving Favors in until he's not. Jeremiah Robinson Earl can go up in minutes. That's for sure. Take that to 21. Muscala wasn't in the rotation last time. They went to Isaiah Roby again. I don't know. Maybe they do that. So we can do something like that. Ty Jerome gets random minutes. Shea at 35. I mean, sure. Lou Dort at 32, sure. Josh Giddey, minutes are starting to come down a bit, but I think he plays 30 in a competitive. So, I mean, this is horrid. The Oklahoma City Thunder are legitimately horrid. This is a really bad team. All right, so for Miami, assuming Jimmy Butler doesn't play, Kyle Lowry, Tyler Hero, and Bam Adebayo look exceptional. In particular, Bam Adebayo for 8,400 on FanDuel and 8,100 on DraftKings is going to be one of my favorite plays. I might have him mildly overprojected, but honestly, I don't even think that I do. Because he's just a different player when Jimmy Butler's not on the floor. Like, we can look at it right now, just from this season. No Butler on. Like, Jimmy Butler's usage, or Bam Adebayo's usage rate just changes dramatically. Yeah, 28% usage rate, 1.37 FanDuel points per minute. I got him at 1.35. I have no reason to think that that should be any different here against Oklahoma City. So if this game could possibly stay close, Bam's the best play on Miami for sure today. But Hero for 6,900 and 6,600 works. Kyle Lowry is, look at that price, 7,400 on FanDuel. Was sub 6K. Still looks fine at 7,400. Those are the three main priorities. Caleb Martin as a legit min salary punt. There's some meat on that bone just because of this type of game. But Bam and Hero on DK or on FanDuel, that's the spot for me today. For Oklahoma City, look, if you want to play Shea for 7,900 or 8,600, I think it's okay. You're probably avoiding most of this team. It's just kind of ugly. 2 more games to go. There's really not a lot standing out as, like, I just need to have that guy or that team. So I think these power rankings are going to be really flat. All right, Toronto at Portland. Toronto is a 1.5 point dog in Portland, 212 total. Q tag on Van Vliet, on Boucher, on Precious Achua. This past game, we saw no Van Vliet, no Achua. I'm going to need to read all those blurbs because I don't really know what's going on with Toronto. So Van Vliet, left groin soreness, didn't play Saturday. I assume he plays today because that's just how it works. Boucher, sore back. Probably doesn't matter. Achua matters, though. Tendinitis in his shoulder. Going to assume that everybody's playing for Toronto. Doesn't make sense to go a different direction. So, 38 minutes for Fred VanVleet. Yep. 37 minutes for OG Anunoby. Yep. 34 for Scotty Barnes. Sure. 27 for Precious if he plays. Yeah. Siakam got up to 34 now. I don't have him in. So, who is out of the rotation? Dragic played when Van Vliet didn't. Okay. Boucher, I think in for 17 is fine. Where the hell do these minutes come from then? How the hell do I get Pascal Siakam in this game? All right, so those minutes aren't going anywhere. Gary Trent's 34 are probably too low. So you go away, you go away. You go away. You go away. You go away. Let's legitimately figure this out. Precious Achiuwa is going to play and play 26 minutes. Khem Birch. Okay, so that's interesting. Khem Birch got back into the rotation there, but Khem Birch was just out. I don't think we can project Khem Birch in right now. Because we got to give... Let's just get the guys we got to give minutes to first. So right out of the gate, 38 minutes for Fred VanVleet. 36 minutes for Gary Trent. 37 minutes for OG Anunoby. And 36 minutes for Scotty Barnes. How much is Pascal Siakam going to play at the 5? Like, even in this game, Khem Birch played 16, Boucher played 11. So, I mean, Siakam played the rest of that at the 5, right? Had to. So, are we looking at something like this? But even that, I'm going to have to bump down Scotty Barnes. 34 minutes for Pascal Siakam seems fine. Still coming back from the injury. Is the assumption that Khem Birch is going to go right? I mean, why wouldn't he, right? He got hurt. Achiuwa stepped in. Now Achiuwa's hurt. Can they both play? Does Boucher just leave the rotation? Is that going to happen? I think he might. I think that he might just leave the rotation. I'm going to not care about him right now. So we're going to do something like this. Now I just need to fill in with the final guys. So that'll be... Svi's going to get 12. Banton's going to get 10. So we'll go 10, 12. And then somebody needs to get 11 minutes. That's all that matters now. Is it Khem Birch? Maybe. Is it Boucher? Maybe. Let's just do that. And then 11 and 25. All right, so Toronto's tricky. But I think it only really matters how you project VanVleet, Anunoby, Barnes, Trent, and Siakam. I think Boucher might leave the rotation. Let's look at Portland. On the Portland side, what do we need to know? Q-tag on Lillard. I know he's got the abdominal issue. What do we actually know about him, though? I'm going to assume that Dame is just playing until he's not. It is a back-to-back. I think sitting at the front end of the back-to-back seems fine. They're at home, so he can get better treatment. Just seems like Dame plays and we move forward as business as usual. So I'm not making any changes to this rotation for Portland other than slowly walking back a couple extra minutes from Cody Zeller. Nas Little maybe getting a little bit more run. Covington definitely getting a bit less. 3 straight games in the low 20s. So let's go to 26 there. Make sure I never get him. So something like that feels a little bit better. Otherwise, we're not really playing. Like, I'm going to play Dame today. Shockingly. And a lot of him, I would imagine. Because I think that he's going to start making shots at some point. Let's look at Toronto. We're up to 754, 227 viewers, or over 100 likes. Great morning. It's great to be back. We got a full week of stuff today. And no breaks now. I'll be out for like a day or two in mid-December, but after this, I got nothing on the books for a while. Do I play season-long NBA fantasy? Andrew, I do not. Van Vliet and Barnes on FanDuel look good. Siakam for 8,200 is kind of a tough sell, but not, it's not the worst thing in the world. On DraftKings, it's basically all the same. Van Vliet, Barnes, and Siakam are the three priorities. For Portland. Yeah, straight back to Dame at 8,200 on FanDuel, 9,200 on DraftKings is fine. I'm never going to project, Dame's at 1.06 fantasy points per minute, and he's shooting like absolute shit. Even just slight performance increase brings him back to his normal rates, and we don't have to, and he's just underpriced then. But injury, no injury, I'm never going to get back out in front of it. I think we just have to look at it like this. I'm always logged in. Just give me the damn stats. What's Dame shooting? No, he's getting older. Things are gonna change eventually. Look, 39, 40, 37, 37, 38, 38. These are all his 3-point rates. He's shooting 28% from 3. On 10 shots a game. That's it. It's right there. Now, being a little bit worse at the rim, particularly off these last 2 years, that stands out a little bit to me. He's not getting, it's just a little different, but right there. Even if he's a 35% shooter moving forward, giant swings. He's going to make these shots. CJ for 7,700 on DraftKings looks good too. Let's close this out. Final game, late night hammer, Chicago Bulls, Los Angeles Lakers. We've got a Caruso revenge narrative. What do we got going for the Bulls, first and foremost? Chicago. No Vooch. Obviously no Patrick Williams. Kobe White is back. Vooch has been out the past 2. So, how do we shake this one out? I'm going to start it from scratch, just because the Bulls are weird and I haven't really looked at them aggressively, with Vooch out. Tony Bradley, it's fine. Actually, I don't know who started for them. So let's go home. Chicago. Why is it not? All right, so it was Bradley started the most recent game. And then who started the second one? Ball, DeRozan, Levine, Javonte Green, Tony Bradley. Okay, so it's Tony Bradley both times. Good deal. I don't get the sense they want Tony Bradley to close these matchups. So 22 minutes to Tony Bradley. Easy. Which leads me to... So that's like Derek Jones as the backup 5. Bradley comes off. Oh, Alize Johnson, backup 5. Obviously. I know better. Oh, so didn't play? Okay, so no Alize Johnson at all. Which... I bet that was fun for everybody yesterday. Let's project everybody else, I guess, first. Lonzo. Right away. 35 minutes. Bing. Done. We'll say Caruso is the other minutes. So 13 here. And then the expectation, I guess, is that Caruso probably closes in most competitive matchups. So I'm going to say that he gets to 17. Alize should play tonight because the Lakers are bigger. Well, Alize Johnson isn't big, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 6'8". So Alize Johnson's size for the bigger Lakers is not exactly an important piece of information. Wouldn't be surprised if they gave Caruso another start. They beat the Clippers. Starting lineup worked. Okay, so interesting piece is that DeRozan and Caruso played with the second unit and played the whole way. Those are the two guys that I wouldn't expect to be playing together. I would expect them. I'm surprised that they don't flip-flop the way that LaVine and DeRozan do that, because Caruso to me fits better on the floor with LaVine, not DeRozan. Oh, yeah, we also got to factor in Kobe White. Moxie, appreciate you there. Kobe White back. I mean, he can only play backup guard rotate. Like, he plays the Troy Brown minutes and then something else. There's no way he's just coming in and playing like a shit ton of minutes. So we're going to move Kobe White's minutes here to straight backup and maybe 5 more. That'll get me to 32 for Caruso. Let's just slap in DeRozan's 36th and LaVine's 36. Javonte Green seems pretty set in the 20s. We'll do that, and we'll do... I mean, so DeRozan's pretty much exclusively going to be playing the 4. So we need to give... We have 61 minutes left for Dosunmu, potentially Alize Johnson, Javonte Green, Derek Jones. I can see Dosunmu's minutes going away. They don't really have an incentive to be playing him a lot right now in comparison to some of the other guys on the team. I can see those minutes just evaporating for Kobe White being back. We know that Derek Jones is going to be playing because he's just been a part of the rotation. And something in the neighborhood of like 22 minutes seems about right. Which means that we've got Dosunmu, Alize Johnson, and Javonte Green left. Javonte Green's minutes don't appear to me like they're going to go anywhere. Derek Jones can go down to 18, actually. So 43 minutes. How tall is Javonte Green? He's like short, right? Yeah, 6'4". All right, so we'll say Javonte Green is going to maintain that 22-minute a game run that he's got. So 1 and 35. So I've got 21 minutes left. It's either Dosunmu or Alize Johnson. I assume they go 9. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is tricky. Dosunmu makes the most sense, but they don't. They're just getting deeper and deeper on guards. Whereas in this particular instance, I don't know if they can get by otherwise. So I think it's going to be Alize Johnson. And that should cover me for what we've got here. So I think we're good. Caruso popping pretty aggressively too. Let's close it out with the Lakers. And then we can run some crunches. I haven't run any crunches in days, guys. I'm excited for it. I hope you are too. If you're excited for crunches, hit that like button. Let's look at the Lakers. And I know Talen Horton-Tucker came back. So still no LeBron, no Ariza, Nunn, or Reeves. But I know Horton-Tucker was back, and I know he started. So I'm going to clear this out because I know they're going to be trickier. 35 minutes for Russ. Yeah, that is like a no-brainer. DeAndre Jordan has not played the past 2 games, and I'm going to just let everybody know now. That's smart. Dwight Howard playing a normal backup rotation seems about right. Pug is at the door. Too early for you, Pug. Sorry. So we're just going to say those two guys are playing the center minutes. That all makes sense. I know Melo started. Assuming he starts again, that's 30 minutes. We can also assume Talen Horton-Tucker is going to start again. Played 27. Probably doesn't need to close. So let's go to 28. Backup point guard run is, I guess, technically Malik Monk. Monk is playing quite a bit more as of late. Bazemore, I assume, got the DNP CD. Don't know if that's like a long-term decision or not. No blurb either. Of course not. All right, this is going to come together pretty easily. So Rondo looks like he's just a part of it. So I guess I don't need to give Malik Monk those backup point guard run minutes. They need to go to Rondo. I do need to give Malik Monk shooting guard minutes. So let's do something like that. But, I mean, Monk in for like 26 is probably more reasonable. We need Avery Bradley. I think he's more of a 2, so we can move Horton-Tucker up another spot. Avery Bradley playing about 24 minutes a game. So we got that set up. So 36 minutes left for Bazemore, potentially. Wayne Ellington, who appears to just be firmly in the rotation, which, by the way, he should be. So let's give Wayne Ellington 28 minutes. And that leaves me 8 minutes left over. But they went 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They went 9-man rotation yesterday. Let's just say that Bazemore gets that rotation. And I think most of this looks normal. Reeves is out. Melo looks fine. Bazemore looks fine. So, final game, Chicago Bulls. Love Lonzo on FanDuel at 5,700. That's a bad price tag for him. Good for me, bad for him. Alex Caruso is going to show up in a lot of shit today. 4,400 on FanDuel, 4K on DraftKings. Zach LaVine, I think, looks really appealing at 8,200 and 8,100. I just really like Chicago today. Tony Bradley, value option. You know, you can get there, and I don't think it's nuts. Alize Johnson, you can get there. I don't think it's nuts. On the Lakers, is that really true, though? I don't trust it. I don't trust that Bulls defense. There's no reason to suspect that they should actually be good. Because they do not have the personnel to assume that. What are teams shooting? Actually, where is that? Is it frequency? Where is the... Is it 4 factors? Ah, there it is. Okay. Teams are shooting a little bit better than they should be expected to against the Bulls. Teams are shooting 35% from mid-range against the Bulls. That's number 1. And they're making 32% of shots in the short mid-range. Those are both probably not sustainable. Anyway, Lakers. Russ and AD, obviously. Russ for 9,700 on FanDuel. Sign me up. He's 10-8 on DraftKings. That's a tough sell. Talen Horton-Tucker is the flat 3K on DraftKings. Guard forward eligibility. How many guys do you think we mentioned that have guard forward eligibility under 4K? I mentioned like 3 or 4 of them right out of the gate in the first couple of games. There's a lot of pay down value on DK today. Wayne Ellington also flat 3K. Not the same kind of guy because he's a half a fantasy point per minute guy, but there is some value there. But Talen Horton-Tucker is the play. Love Russ. Love AD as well. So, We're there, everybody. It's crunch time. If you haven't hit the like button yet, do it now. We are about to find out optimal lineups on FanDuel. I'm going to lose my voice today. For the amount that I have to talk, we're in some trouble. I can feel it already. All right. First game up, or first site up, FanDuel optimal lineups. It's more stars and scrubs on DraftKings. I think it's balanced on FanDuel tonight. All right. FanDuel optimal. Damian Lillard, Lonzo Ball, Spencer Dinwiddie, Alex Caruso, Tyler Hero, Dylan Brooks, Bam Adebayo, Christian Wood, Clint Capella. I love this lineup. I can do without the Dylan Brooks piece, but, against Houston and starting to get his minutes back for a guy that likes to shoot like he does, I'll mess with that. I love this lineup on FanDuel. If Jimmy Butler stays out, if if Lillard is in, it's got some qualifications, but I don't mind it. If you drop down 0.2 of a point, you can swap out Dylan Brooks for Scotty Barnes and Clint Capella for Isaiah Stewart. But I have no problem with that with that FanDuel lineup. I think that is appealing. Now, power rankings. And obviously, this is going to be way early because we're getting a lot of guys that are injury dependent. It's looking pretty good, though. Where's my book? Is it? Realized I didn't have my cell phone charger out here. No wonder my cell phone's dying. Sherman, you made it anyway. All right, power rankings on FanDuel. Tyler Hero, Lonzo Ball, Christian Wood, Damian Lillard, Kyle Kuzma, Kevin Porter Jr., Dinwiddie, Adebayo, Capella, RJ Barrett, Sadiq Bey, D'Angelo Russell, Anthony Davis, Dennis Schroeder. That looks a lot like the top's fine. Tough slate on FanDuel. And that's if, maybe this will all change if Dame gets ruled out or if Van Vliet gets ruled out, but I don't mind that. Fun slate for FanDuel today. Let's look and see what we got on DraftKings. I have no feel for this, but there's definitely going to be multiple sub 4K guys here. Optimals on DraftKings. Aaron Holiday, Tyler Hero, Kyle Kuzma, Jaren Jackson Jr., Christian Wood, Zach LaVine, Talen Horton-Tucker, Bam Adebayo. I don't see anything on there that's surprising me at all. It's incredible to see that the most expensive players here are 8,100. You get 3 8K guys. No pay-up options show up, even though you have the pay-down options with Aaron Holiday and Talen Horton-Tucker. Holiday and Talen Horton-Tucker are looking like the guys that are going to be the more likely cash plays for right now. So let's run power rankings for DK. Yeah, no surprises here. No surprises at all. Who's the best value play on DK? Yeah, Horton-Tucker. Figured as much. Yeah, this one's not all that surprising to me on DraftKings. Talen Horton-Tucker at the top of the heap. Aaron Holiday, Cade Cunningham, Kristaps Porzingis, Tyler Hero, Anthony Davis, D'Angelo Russell, Kevin Huerter, Zach LaVine, Kyle Kuzma, Trae Young, Evan Mobley, Dame, Jeremy Grant. No surprises there at the top, though. It's got to be Horton-Tucker and Holiday, given their prices. Assuming they both still start again. The pay-up options just aren't there. It's so hard to want to go to Jokic or Luka or Russ at 10-8. I mean, you've got AD at 10-4. That just looks so much better than that range. or even Towns at 10-2, but really just falling down to the Trae Young Dame area. It's really flat at the top. It's really flat at the top. Tough slate. Really, really tough slate. And plenty of news to make it even more difficult, if we're being really honest. But there we go. We are an hour and 15 minutes. No, we are an hour and 45 minutes into this show. We got to get the hell out of here. I got to record contenders and get those out. We got strategy show coming up at 9:45 where myself and Adam Scher will break it all down. Bang. That's where we're at. We'll be breaking it all down today, going through all 11 games. I will be back for Live Before Lock tonight. Myself and Greg. Adam will be on the deeper dive. We have a ton to talk about, a ton to do. We're finally back, fresh off of vacation. Brain's feeling clear. I'm ready to attack. Guys, I hope you have some success today. Win some money. Let's talk about it tomorrow morning. Good luck. It's good to be back. It's great to have everybody here. Rise and grind, everybody. I'll see you guys in the morning. 3-gamer tomorrow. Gonna be easy. Bring your questions. We can do whatever you guys want to do tomorrow. Got a lot of time. Adios.